Welcome to this next installment of the Get to Know Your Local Historical Society video project. In this video, we will explore everything that the Historical Society of Moorestown has to offer.
Moorestown Historical Society is now in its 55th year of operation. It was founded in 1969 by the local Rotary Club. And they had come upon a hat that belonged to the town's longtime newspaper editor, who was a prominent Rotarian. And he passed away, and members of the Rotary Club purchased his hat from his estate. And then once they realized they had the hat, they needed a place to put it. And that led to a broader discussion of the need in Moorestown for an organization like a historical society. So they formed the Historical Society of Moorestown. And it was a short time after that, that this building that I'm sitting in now, which is called the Smith-Cadbury Mansion, was available for sale and was purchased by those same Rotarians and became the headquarters since then of the Historical Society. It's called Smith-Cadbury Mansion because the family that had the house built, that was the family of a Richard Smith. And then the last family to live in the house were the Cadburys, hence the name Smith-Cadbury. The building is on the National Register of Historic Places. Probably the most famous resident of the house, although his name is not on it, was a gentleman named Edward Harris II. And Harris was a very prominent ornithologist and scientist, farmer, businessman. He was really a kind of a jack of all trades. He was very good friends with John James Audubon and made a couple of expeditions with Audubon. In 1777, on November 25th, to be specific, the Marquis de Lafayette stayed in this house. He had been sent by George Washington to meet up with Nathaniel Greene down in Gloucester, New Jersey, to stop a British advance down there. He was still recovering from the wound he received at the Battle of Brandywine in September of 1777, and really needed to rest. Couldn't make the trip all the way down to Gloucester, and stopped here. And on Nathaniel Greene's orders, stayed in this house in Moorestown. We offer a variety of different things to the people in Moorestown. We have a ghost tour that we do. Actually, call it the Ghost and History Tour that we do every October. We have been doing it for about 15 years. Last year, for the first time, we introduced historic characters from Moorestown's history, into the program. We have a library here that I'm sitting in right now, which is kind of the heartbeat of the organization, where we have a group comes in every Tuesday, and they help people with research, any genealogy, things of that nature. We have a plaque program where any home in Moorestown that's over 100 years old is eligible to receive one of our historic plaques. And so for a fee of $275, they get the plaque. Plus, our team here researches the building and gives them a full write-up of the history of the house, who owned it, when it was built, and anything of significance that might have happened in the home over the years. We have a lecture series that we also do, probably between 8 and 10 lectures a year. We do them at the Moorestown Library on a variety of topics. Usually they're local authors, people who've written books about New Jersey. But we've had people come from far away to do it as well, including some New York Times bestsellers. And then we do a variety of exhibits also, generally one a year. So they'll generally run from September to June. The current exhibit that we have is on the life and work of Malcolm Wells, who was a kind of a pioneering American architect that lived in South Jersey, designed a lot of homes here in Moorestown, and was best known as being kind of the godfather of what we would call today green buildings. make buildings that were energy efficient and had the least amount of impact to the environment, what he would call gentle architecture. So we have a number of different print resources that we make available here, or that we can utilize to assist people with different requests. We have genealogical records. We have a number of diaries from people from Moorestown history. We've got scrapbooks and manuscripts that people have donated to us. We have over 450 books on local and regional history, city directories. We have transcripts we've done about 50 oral histories over the years, and those transcripts are available here for people to review. I mentioned the plaque program. We have all those records on hand. So even if someone moved into a house that already had a plaque and they don't need a plaque, but they don't have the information because the homeowner that sold them the house may have, kept it or did something with it, they could come here and we can dig that out and give it to them. We have yearbooks here, where people can come in and look up the high school yearbook of some long lost relative. It's always heartwarming to see people come in and find somebody in those books, and see what people might have written about them. How like in a yearbook someone will make little notations or a message to somebody, and so some of them actually have messages in them. Well, we have, for starters, we have recordings of a number of the oral histories that we've done. Our website has a lot of demographic data that we've collected over the years, on where the town was at any one particular time. We have a digital photo archive. Yeah, so we have on our website, you can look up our past newsletters. So every 6 months we put out an award-winning newsletter. In 2022, we are the recipients of the Kevin M. Hale Annual Publications Award in recognition of distinguished achievement in the publication of a newsletter by the League of Historical Societies in New Jersey. We also have a social media presence. We have a Facebook pages, and we have a YouTube channel. So you can see, for example, our a short boiled down version of our quilt exhibit can be found on our YouTube channel. We do a thing on our Facebook page, which is called Forgotten Friday. And it's hugely popular, and it's just a story, an anecdote about either a place in Moorestown or a person, and we try to make it topical. So we're in the midst right now. We just received a grant from the Historic Commission, New Jersey. What we are going to do with the grant money, it's a $25,000 grant. The West End Community Center in Moorestown was established in the in the 1930s, when the community house, the regular community house on Main Street, where blacks were prohibited from using the facility. So they eventually acquired a building that the town had access to and gave them access to, and they created their own community center. What we're trying to do now is collect, all the records that they had, digitize those records here, so they're available to people, and then conduct a series of oral histories with some of the people that are still around that remember the West End Center. We're in the process right now of scanning in all the minutes, of the budgets. I mean, there's so much to learn from some of that written material, and then from there we're going to expand it to go to collect the oral histories from some people that we've identified as having, some special insight into the operation of the West End Center, and can answer questions that we have, quite frankly, that come from the records that we're scanning. we're open uh, every Tuesday from 1 to 4. The library team is here. People are welcome to just stop in. If they have a special request and they want to make an appointment, they can do that too. They can do that right on our website. Generally, people will just come in here, on the Tuesdays from when we're open from 1 to 4, and talk to someone who's on duty here. We're an all volunteer organization, but usually on Tuesdays, there's somebody here that can answer or give somebody direction. If they want to come in and have access to any of the written information that we have, or to or tour the house or look at any specific things that we have, they're welcome to do that. Well, we have a number of very interesting items. I mentioned the hat that belonged to Percy Lovell. We've got 3 uh, historically significant grandfather clocks. One is a Marmaduke Stores clock, which came from England. It was donated to us by the Haddon family, the same people that Haddon Field and Haddon Township is named for. And we have a Hollingshead clock, which was built by Morgan Hollingshead from right here in Moorestown. Hollingshead family were important clockmakers, in the 18th century, and well, all up and down the East Coast, but primarily in New Jersey. We also have a very good sampler collection, the kind of needlepoint thing. That probably, if you were to rank the top sampler collections in the country, this would be on the list. But I'd say probably one of the most interesting items we have is a chest of drawers. And I had mentioned earlier that Edward Harris was probably the most famous person that lived in this house. And he was a very famous ornithologist and gave lectures at the Smithsonian Institute and at the Academy of Natural Sciences in Philadelphia. And he kept at least part of his bird collection that he had collected with Audubon in these chest of drawers that he had. After he died in 1863, his son, who traded his father's bird collection and the chest of drawers to a plumber from Moorestown named Thomas Macon. One of Macon's sons approached the representatives from the Delaware Valley Ornithological Society, said, "Hey, my father has Edward Harris's birds in the barn of his house, which is on 2nd Street in Moorestown." And so they went over to the house and found the birds, and Macon said, I don't want them. And so they took the birds out, and they're now in the care of the Academy of Natural Sciences in Philadelphia. But the chest of drawers, we never knew what happened to. We knew there had been a chest of drawers, but we didn't have it, and so we didn't know who had it. And then one day, out of the blue, we got a call from a long lost descendant of the Macons that they had the chest of drawers, and would we like it? So we said, sure, of course. And the best way to contact us is via email. Our email address is moorestownhistory@comcast.net. And you can also call us, but I would say that the best way to get the fastest response is by email. But you could call us. Our phone number is 856-235-0353. Our website is www.moorestownhistory.org. And of course, we really encourage people to come in. As I mentioned, we're open every Tuesday from 1 to 4. We're open the 2nd and 4th Sunday of every month from 1 to 3. And we're also available by appointment.